Hey everybody, it's Tyler with Tyler Talks Travel Trailers, and today we're gonna do two off-road machines right here behind me. We got the Flagstaff E-Pro 19 FDS, and we got the No Boundaries 20.1 with the Beast Mode package. Both are really nice trailers. They're built extremely well, but there are some small differences between the two. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick these both apart. Maybe I'll tell you what I like, don't like, and at the end tell you which one I like the most. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, look at those beefy travel trailers right there. They are so cool. We're going to be doing this a little different than my usual tours. I usually go through the specs and everything on them. I'm not going to go into the specs because we're not comparing apples to apples. This one is obviously a little bigger. If you do want one that's the same size as that, it's going to be the 19.2, but it doesn't have a slide. The reason I'm making this video is because I could see why people might get confused with these two, because they look very similar, like they might have the same options and features, but they really are a lot different. But they're also very similar. So I'm gonna pick these apart and kind of show you what each one has and doesn't have, which one, what I like and don't like. If you do end up liking one of these trailers, the videos will be at the end. I did a 30-minute tour on both of these. So if you want to go more in depth on them, wait till the end of the video and they'll be on my end screen. So wait for that. We're going to start off with the No Boundaries. Really, really cool travel trailer that they made this year. This is going to be the 2025 20.1. As you can see, they got the new color scheme going on with the green. This will be the dual axle. They do make the single axle. This trailer is going to be fiberglass. It's going to be 6-side aluminum framed, which I'll show you right here. So the entire trailer is all aluminum. So it's like a cage. They're built extremely well. This also has Azdel behind that fiberglass, which is impervious to water, as they say. It won't swell on you, warp. You won't have DLAM issues. So this does have Azdel in it. As you can see, it has the Azdel. So when you're looking around at trailers, just look for that sticker. If they don't put Azdel in the trailer, they'll actually use Luan, which is basically just like a plywood that they put behind that fiberglass. So both the E-Pro and the Nobo will be 6-side aluminum framed. They will be fiberglass on the outside, and they will also both have Azdel. E-Pro has one step higher than this, and I'll go into that when we go into that one. But as of right now, they both have Azdel. They both are 6-side aluminum framed, and they're both fiberglass. They also put like a rigid foam block in between those aluminum studs. So both of them will be exactly the same, kind of. Once we get to that one, I'll change that for you guys. But as of right now, they're very similar. One huge feature that this one has is it has the Beast Mode package. So as you can see, Beast Mode. The Beast Mode package comes with an independent suspension, but it's not just the independent suspension. It also includes some other stuff, but check it out. Look how awesome that is. It's like a racing suspension. So you either have leaf spring, you have torsion, or you have the independent suspension. This independent suspension actually has 5 inches of play, so it will flex. As you know, as you see, there's no axle. It's an axle-less suspension. Another thing that I love about this independent suspension is you can't use a weight distribution setup on this trailer. And you might be saying, well, I want one. You literally cannot. It self-levels itself to your truck. You know, so you don't need to mess around with those big, heavy, bulky weight distribution bars on this trailer. Whereas some of the other heavier trailers, you're going to need a weight distribution setup. So really cool that they add this Beast Mode package. And then also, if you notice underneath, it is all enclosed underbelly with, it has like a foil wrap around it, a radiant foil wrap around it to help insulate it a little better. This also has tank heaters on it. So as a whole, this thing is going to do very well in colder temperatures. So the enclosed underbelly helps a lot. Oh, let's see if I can get out of here. This one will be dual axle. As you can see, it's got the nice aluminum wheels. It's lifted. You got the, I think that's green. I don't know if that's green. I'm colorblind. It's hard for me to tell. But you got the aluminum wheels right there. So off-road mud tires, 15-inch tires. It does not have the ladder to get on the roof. It is just prepped for the ladder. So you can buy the ladder and it'll hook on the outside, and then you can get on the roof. It has a fully walk-on roof. But because I wanted to show you the solar panels, if you get the Beast Mode package, not only do you get that suspension, you'll also get two 200-watt solar panels. So 400 watts of solar is already on the roof of this, and then you get a 2,000-watt inverter and a 40-amp charge controller. So that's what you get on the Beast Mode package. We'll go inside so I can show you some of the stuff in here. And when we go to the next one, I'll rehash it for you so you can kind of remember, so that way you can compare what this has versus that, and vice versa. So you got the nice solid steps right here. Those are kind of some main construction features that I want to point out for you guys before we come inside. Usually I come inside first. But man, I love this trailer. Every time I come in it, I'm impressed. Just looks really nice. So on this particular floor plan, you have the theater seating. They do recline. I believe you can order this with the dinette if you would like. This particular floor plan is 8 feet wide. If you go to the 19.2, it's actually 7.3 feet wide, so it's narrower. The 19.2 will be more like the E-Pro, but all the features are the same in this. So this is an 8-foot wide box. You can see you got a huge farm style sink. All these things I'm pointing out to you are going to be different than the E-Pro, so that's why I'm picking and choosing what I'm showing you. So you got a huge farm style sink, and this sink is winning people over. People are loving it. So you can adjust these. It's a nice big metal. I know it's not a true farm style sink. That's just what the industry calls it. I've gotten some comments that were upset with me. That's just what they call it, but huge sink right here. And then it's really cool. I finally figured out what this does. It actually shuts off the drain. So that's how you fill up the sink. This shuts the sink off, and then you have these to turn this faucet on or the waterfall faucet. So this is going to be different in the E-Pro. That's why I'm pointing this out. I love this sink. They just need to do this in all of them, honestly. You have the cup cleaner right there. Your countertops are also a little different. I forgot what they call this when it has like that edged look to it. It's different. Your cabinetry and all this, they're doing that green tone, the olive green. Is that olive green? It's green, I know that. I could see it. And then you got a roof-mounted AC. In this floor plan, you're going to get a 15,000 BTU AC. And that's going to be different than in the E-Pro as well. Mainly also is the color schemes are going to be a lot different than the E-Pro does. So this does have the Murphy bed. I'm going to show you the Murphy bed because the Murphy bed is different in that Flagstaff E-Pro. If you're wanting to get an off-road trailer, both of these are amazing options. So this just folds flat. You got storage down here, and then your inverter is right there as well. And then this just folds down. See how this mattress isn't kind of connected to this board? Just remember that. So when we go to the E-Pro. So on this particular mattress, it actually kind of folds in half right here, and it's not connected to this board right here. So that's going to be different in the E-Pro. If we come to the back, let's see if any of the features are different. You're getting a 10 cubic foot refrigerator in this trailer. So it's a 12 volt fridge, which I love because they cool a lot faster and they are deeper. So this is going to be 10 cubic feet. Just remember that. You both of them, I'll tell you right off the bat, you get the TST tire monitoring system. So both the ePro and the Nobo will have this, so you can kind of monitor your tires if they're getting low, getting hot. Really great tool. It'll do some other stuff as well. Behind me, you have the Road Vac. So the ePro, I'll tell you that right now, it doesn't have it. You get this little hose that hooks in right there, and then you could kind of clean everything up, and then you have a dustpan right there. That's a really cool feature. You'll realize that in travel trailers, you'll get some things in one trailer and then some things not in the other trailer, but they put the money somewhere else, you know, so you'll always like different things in every trailer. In this particular trailer, your tanks are going to be bigger also. So your fresh water is going to be 40 gallon, your gray water is going to be 40 gallons, and your black tank is going to be 30. If you do the 19.2 model of this, which is more of the size of the ePro, your tanks are going to be 30 gallons, 30 gallons, and 30 gallons for all three of them. Whereas on the ePro, your tanks are going to be 31 gallons for your fresh, 27 for your gray, and 27 for your black. So if you get the same size of Nobo as that ePro, you will get a gallon more of fresh water. And then on the gray and black tank, you'll get, looks like, 3 gallons more on the gray and black tank. So a little different. If you go up to this size, you'll get 10 gallons more on your freshwater tank. I hope that's coming through okay. And then the 40 gallons on the gray tank. So 10 gallons on both of those. So you would have to jump up to this size of trailer. I'll tell you the size real quick, just so you know. You'll have to jump up to this size of trailer to get bigger tanks. This is 24 feet, 3 inches total. So the box is probably like 20 feet. So a little bit bigger. You notice one thing I want to point out too on this No Boundaries is the roof. See how it's a flat roof? On the Nobo, when I show it to you, it'll have a vaulted ceiling. It'll be rounded. I kind of would like the rounded ceiling just because, you know, if it rains or snows or anything like that, the water won't pool on there. It'll kind of just flow off nicely. If we come into the bathroom, which I was going to show you, this toilet is going to be plastic. The one in the ePro is going to be, it's going to be, why am I forgetting it? I'm drawing a blank. It's going to be like a normal house toilet. I do these tours every day. I don't know how I forgot that. So the toilet's going to be different. You got a max air vent in here, the bigger fart fan, and then you'll have the same one in the ePro as well. Pretty decent shower right here. I'll show you the headroom in this because it might be different. So this is how much headspace I have in this Nobo. Quite a bit. And then I want to point out the shower because the ePro has a feature that this one does not. So see this? Just a standard shower. Remember that. All of your readings on your tanks are going to be in the bathroom. I don't know if that matters to you. I just think it's different. So your black tank, your fresh tank, your batteries, all that stuff, your readings are right here versus being at the doorway. Another huge feature that this trailer has is tank heaters. So if you camp in cold weather, there's 12-volt heat pads that are on all the tanks. So all you do is flip the switches and it'll prevent your tanks from freezing and cracking. You know, if you're driving through a cold state, you might want to turn these on so that way you don't get to your destination and then they're frozen. That'd be catastrophic. So both will have tank heaters, but the ePro, it's a little different, and I'm going to let you know what that means. This particular floor plan has tons of counter space and a lot of storage as well. Like I said, I'll leave the videos at the end of this video so that way you can see everything. I literally open every cabinet drawer so that way you could see that. Different color schemes. You got your Furrion AC. So that's kind of some of the main features on this no boundaries that are going to be different on the E Pro. So let's go to the E Pro. And if I remember anything else, I'll jump back and forth. I need to stop winging these videos. Might need to write a script. So if we come to the Flagstaff over here, little smaller. And if you notice, this trailer is going to be 7.6 feet wide. So if you get the Nobo that is the same size as this one will be just a little bit wider, whereas the smaller Nobo will be 7.3 feet wide. 7.6 feet wide is nice because when you're towing with your vehicle, you might be able to see around the trailer a little better. This does have the ladder, whereas the No Boundaries doesn't come with it. You have to buy it, and you can remove this as well. So I like the ladder because you can get up there, make sure everything is working, check on your roof, make sure there's no tears or anything like that. You have a receiver on both of them. So the Nobo will have a receiver as well, and it'll hold 300 pounds. So it's, you know, you could put a cargo rack or something like that. Another feature that is different on the E Pro versus the No Boundaries is going to be the axles. So that one, I told you, it has an independent suspension. This isn't a bad suspension. This is still great. If you're wanting to go off-road, you know, this is still going to be a lot better than your leaf spring axles. It's going to be a torsion axle. So it still has flex to it. So you hit a pothole or anything like that, it's going to absorb a lot of that shock, and it's not going to transfer to the frame of the trailer. So both have really good axles. I would say that if you're someone that's going to go super crazy, you know, you got a off-road car or vehicle and you want to go somewhere super deep, that one is obviously going to be a little more superior with the independent suspension, but let me tell you, you do pay for it. It is not cheap. And then let's see, so you got a 6-gallon water heater on this trailer on the E Pro. Let's see, I want to check if this one is different. They hid it from me. So both will have 6-gallon water heaters. That's the same. And then your stabilizers are different on both of these. So this one is just the standard crank down, whereas this one is this new style of stabilizer. It's super fast to put it down. It's a lot faster than that one. I don't think it makes a huge difference because if you get a drill and the same socket size, both will be just as fast. So different stabilizers. Another thing I want to point out on this trailer is I told you it has tank heaters. So both of them have tank heaters, but when I told you about this one has an enclosed underbelly. If we come over here, it is not enclosed. So your tanks are exposed on this one, but you could see the heat pad on there right there. And that one has forced air going to it. So there's heat going to your underbelly, whereas this one is just exposed. I personally think you will be fine. You know, here in New Mexico, both are gonna serve you good. If you want a little extra layer, I think obviously the enclosed underbelly and that wrapped foil around it, radiant foil, as well as the forced heat going in there is gonna be a little more superior. But that wouldn't, I still love this trailer. That doesn't make a huge difference for me. Over here in the tires, you could see you still got the 15-inch mud tires right here. They're both Westlake tires. You got never adjust brakes, so you don't have to adjust the brakes on these after you travel. A lot of people don't know that. They will adjust themselves. I couldn't find out if those ones have that or not, but these do. These also have balancing beads in the tires. So there's little beads in there, and it'll help the tread. It'll keep them, let's see, it says increased tire life, reduced maintenance costs, dynamic balancing, smoother ride. And then, like I told you, it does have the TST monitoring system wrapped around the rim. On the outside, like I told you, it's all 6-side aluminum framed. It's got fiberglass, and it has that composite Asdel style material behind this. What I was wanting to point out to you that is different from the Nobo to this is Flagstaff is one of the only companies, I think one of the only companies, to put that Azdel material on the inside walls and the outside. So you got double layer. So outside and inside, you got Azdel. I think that is huge because, like I said, that really helps with delamination issues. You can put that Azdel composite material in water for months and it won't change the integrity of that material. So whereas on the Nobo, you have Azdel on the underneath the fiberglass, and then it goes to your standard inner wall, and then on this one you have double layer Azdel. So I think that's huge. If we sit down right here, you can see it's got the vaulted ceiling, so it's rounded. Like I told you, that's kind of nice if it's raining or anything like that. You don't have to worry about water pooling up there. This does have the 6 cubic foot fridge instead of the 10, what did I say? 8 cubic feet, 10 cubic feet foot fridge in the Nobo. So the fridge is smaller in this one. A little bit smaller, but they're both 12 volt. I love Flagstaff because they give you all Magic Chef appliances. The slide is smaller on this particular floor plan. It's not super huge. And if we come over here to the kitchen, remember I was showing you that sink? Smaller sink. It's smaller, but you could still definitely do some dishes in there. And then it doesn't have those cool trays or the waterfall water thing where you could rinse off your vegetables and stuff like that. I'm going to show you the Murphy bed on this one real quick. Let's see if I could show you with, I'll put you down real quick. So like I said, that Murphy bed is a little different than this one. Also, these couches recline. Those ones don't recline. So nice and easy. You just, well, first you want to unclip these, and then storage. You got storage underneath, and this just comes down, and there's your mattress. So it's an actual mattress, and it's connected to that board with this strap. But one thing I want to point out is it doesn't fold in half, so there's no seam. If I had to pick between the two, I obviously would love this Murphy bed more than the Nobo Murphy bed. So that is one big difference right there in the Murphy beds. And all of the Nobos will have that similar Murphy bed. So Murphy bed on the E-Pro is going to be better. You get recliners on this couch, whereas the other one you don't. I don't think you... I can't remember. I think you don't get an oven. You don't get an oven in the Nobo, I don't believe. And this one, you don't get an oven as well, but you get the convection oven. One thing that's cool about Nobo is I think they're air fryers. We'll go check and see if it does have that. Both will have the 32-inch smart TV with all the apps ready to go. Your lighting is also a little different in this. It's a little softer. You see how it's kind of softer light? I'll go back to the Nobo as well so you can see it. Where they're a little wider, they're bright, but I like the lighting in the E-Pro more. The AC in this particular floor plan, you'll have a 13.5 BTU AC, whereas on the Nobo, it's a 15,000 BTU AC. In that size of Nobo, your AC is ducted, whereas on the Nobo, it is not ducted. Let's check out the bathroom. And now I remember what kind of toilet. Man, that was a brain fart. So as I showed you on the Nobo, you get a plastic toilet. You get a porcelain toilet on this trailer. That's not a big deal because you can always switch the toilets out if you would like. So porcelain toilet on this one. Got your medicine cabinet. On this one, you have the big fart fan. But this one has the rain cover already added to it, whereas the Nobo does not. So if you leave it open or you're driving down the road, you don't have to worry about not closing it. Nice stainless steel sink. I think the finishing on this is just really nice. We'll go back to the other one. I think I like the finishing on the E-Pro a little better. Metal sink. This is like a, let's see what the countertops are. So both are kind of like a Formica material. So it's a little different. It's not like the solid surface like on the Flagstaff Microlite, which is a step above this, but there's no T-molding on it. So you don't have to worry about water getting into the cracks and, you know, expanding your countertop and warping it. The shower. I showed you something. Well, I showed you the basic shower inside of the Nobo. I like this curtain a lot more. It secures the water in much better because it's magnetic. The headspace in that Nobo, you get a lot more headspace. So here's the headspace I got. So everything about this is narrower. This is a little over 9 feet tall, whereas that one I think is on the higher, like 10 feet, above 10 feet. It's higher, it sits higher. This is a little over 9 feet high, so see how much closer my head is to this. So if you're 6'7", the other shower is going to give you a lot more space. Also, one feature this has that the Nobo does not. This has a shower miser. And what that is if you're a dry camper, this is a great feature. When you go to wait for the water to get hot, you just stick your hand out and you're not in the water and you're wasting it all. With this option, all you have to do is turn this down and it'll circulate the water through the lines. This will change a color. Then you spit the water back out and then you're not wasting any water at all because you're going to be circulating it through the lines and then spitting it out once it's hot. I'd say the shower head is, I can't remember. Now I can't remember. Shower head might be better in the Nobo. On this trailer, you get 200 watts of solar instead of 400 watts of solar, which you'll get on that one. You'll get an 1800 watt inverter on this one versus the 2000 watt inverter on that one. What do I think about that? I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. With the size of trailer that you're using on both of them, 200 watts is plenty, I promise you. And if you wanted to, you can actually plug in another solar on the outside. So that's one thing, you know, where you can save a little money and get the 200 watts instead of the 400 watts. So you do get smaller, less solar on this one, but I am telling you, I don't think it's a deal breaker for me. You know, that's plenty of solar for this. I've never had anyone come back and say, hey, can I install an additional 200 watts? And then the 1800 watt inverter versus the 2000 watt inverter, not a big difference. You know, you might be able to plug in a couple extra phones, you know, but not a huge difference on that. If we come outside, I want to show you the windows. This is a huge feature for me because I like the windows a lot. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot something about the tank heaters. So all of your readings are right here on this control panel. And instead of the bathroom, like I said in the Nobo, I don't want to say it's weird, it's just different. But this does have tank heaters. Let me tell you what's better about these tank heaters versus the No Boundary tank heaters. When you turn these on, all you got to do is turn it on and they go on automatically at freezing temps and then they go off once you're above freezing temps. So that's a really nice feature because if you're out fishing or hiking or anything like that, you don't have to keep these going all day long. You know, it'll regulate itself. So I would say the tank heaters are better on this. The bed's better than the bed is better on this versus the Nobo. I like the shower miser that you don't get on the Nobo. You get a porcelain toilet where you don't get that in the Nobo. And then I'll go back over there and tell you what I like about that one. Your cabinetry, we'll double check. All of your cabinets are real wood. It's not paper wrap, not particle board. You got hidden hinges, so there's no hinges on the outside. A little narrower. That mattress is going to be bigger. This is I believe this is a full-size mattress, whereas that one might be a RV queen, so it's 6 inches shorter. So you do get a bigger mattress in the Nobo. I like that you can recline these, whereas on the Nobo you cannot. Whoa, we're having fun. It's already been 29 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. If you're getting bored, you don't have to watch it. So, On this one, I love the frameless windows. So as you can see, it's one piece of glass. There's no gasket there that, you know, over time it can deteriorate or brittle on you. I like the cap on this one more, that's for sure. See how this one has it's framed out? So I would say the windows are better on the E-Pro. They just look really nice, and you don't have to worry about super crazy maintenance with them. You have a griddle that hooks on both of them, so you get a cooktop on both of them. You do get an outdoor shower on this one, and you get an outdoor sprayer on this one. So it doesn't have hot and cold water, but we'll check if it has one on the back. It does not. So you don't get an outdoor shower on this one, you just get a cold sprayer, whereas on the E-Pro you get hot and cold water. There's where you can hook up an additional solar, which I think the 400 already on is good enough, and you could do the same on that one. So both of them you could hook up an additional solar panel. I like the green. I just can't decide if I like the E-Pro more. You get the glass door on this one. It looks really cool, but you can't see out of it, see? It's just for aesthetic, whereas on the E-Pro, it's just your standard door. Let's go in here and see these real quick. So remember I said the lights? Hopefully my battery's not getting low. It might be getting low. They go a lot brighter than this, but see how the lights are like sharper. They're like white versus the other ones. They're a little softer. Both will have the roller shades. Pretty nice. Big windows. This particular floor plan, you have two couches. So I guess this one does recline, that one doesn't. On these cabinets, they're a little different. I'd have to check the material, but it's not, I'd say the cabinetry is a little better on the E-Pro. So your cabinetry, I would pick the cabinetry on the E-Pro. You still have the hidden hinges right there. And then all of your controls are right here. And then the other ones are in the bathroom. The sink, like I said, is a lot better. So, what do you guys think of the two? I'll sit down and we're going to rehash everything so that way, because I just spit out a lot of stuff to you guys so I can kind of clarify the differences and tell you which one I think is the best. And I might tell you the price of this one versus that one, but it's just, this one's obviously going to be a lot more because it's bigger, but I'll still tell you the price. So let's get into that. I'm going to go into the E-Pro and we're going to have some fun. I'm going to rehash everything and let you know the price. All right, guys, let's kind of rehash. Let's test my memory. Like I said, I don't write a script or anything. I just kind of wing it. So let's see if I can remember all the differences for you guys. That way you could write this down if you want to make a list. So the differences. The Nobo has the independent suspension. This has the torsion axle. Independent suspension is going to flex more. You don't need a weight distribution setup. You know, if you're going really off-road, that one is going to be better. The torsion axle is still going to be better than the leaf spring, and it has some flex to it, so it'll still help the frame of the trailer. The other difference, they're both Asdel, which is huge. It's going to help with DLAM issues, you know, when they bubble and get really ugly. Both have Asdel, but Flagstaff has outer wall Asdel and Asdel on the inside. So double layered composite, which is going to help prevent any damage with water or anything like that. So in that instance, I will say the E-Pro. They're both aluminum framed. One thing I forgot to point out, big difference. They're both 6-side aluminum framed, which is fantastic. It's lighter, stronger. E-Pro will go a step further. So see this dinette I'm sitting on? Underneath it is aluminum framed too. Whereas on the Nobos, it'll be wood. So Flagstaff goes a little further on the aluminum framing in areas that you're going to sit on, stand on, or sleep on. So when you go to jab your knee into this to put your shade down, it's going to be aluminum versus wood, which is going to be stronger. So I'd say the E-Pro, construction-wise, is just a little bit better. You know, you got the extra layer of Asdel, and they literally aluminum frame everything. On the Nobo, You got, what else did you have? Well, that one is dual axle, but if you go with the 19.2, it'll be single axle. In the kitchen area, you actually have a bigger sink versus the one in the Nobo versus this one. The Nobo definitely takes the cake with that sink. It is really nice, and I'm pretty sure they do it in the 19.2 also. So sink is way better on the Nobo. We go into the bathroom. You get a porcelain toilet versus a plastic. Not a big deal. You get the shower miser in the showers to conserve water. You know, it'll circulate through the lines so you can conserve water. Both the tanks are very similar, so having that added feature is kind of nice if you're a dry camper. Whereas on the Nobo, you don't get that, so that's really nice in the bathroom area. And then your cabinetry, I think the E-Pro, the cabinetry is going to be a little more superior. And also, countertops pretty much the same. They're both with that Formica material. The beds, I think this bed wins, but it's tough. Maybe I think it's a tie. It's a tie because I like the way this bed goes down more versus the Nobo where it has the seam and it isn't attached to that board. But I like that the bed is a little bigger in the Nobo. On the lighting, obviously I said that the lighting is better in this. I like that it's a little softer. Outdoor shower on this. You only get the sprayer on that. You got extra 200 watts of solar on the Nobo. You only get that if it's in the Beast Mode package. So if you get the Beast Mode package, you won't get an extra solar panel. So you get an extra 200 watts, so 400 watts of solar. You get a 2,000 watt inverter, whereas on this one you only get the 200 and the 1,800 watt inverter. I personally don't think it's that big of a deal. I like the frameless windows more on this one. Going back to the solar real quick, I don't think there's a winner on that. I think they're equal. I don't think it's that big of a difference. The windows are way better on this versus the Nobo. I like the frameless windows. They look nice. Really great trailer. So, I mean, if I had to pick, it's tough. I'll tell you the price after this, but I think, let me tell you the price real quick. So, the Nobo, obviously it's going to be a lot more because it's bigger, but they do make the 19.2, and I still think it might be more. Or it'll be a little less, but it might be more than the E-Pro. So on that Nobo, the original price on it is $50,684. If you come to Albuquerque RV, as of right now, your sale price is $39,995. If we come to the E-Pro, your MSRP is $39,891, and your sale price is $31,995. That's a tough decision. You got about $8,000 in difference. $9,000 in difference. Can't do math. So if I had to pick my favorite one, I would pick the E-Pro. And I said favorite. I didn't say best. I don't think either of them are better than the other. This is one of those instances where you really need to write down a list of where you want to go camping, how often you're going to use it, mainly where you're going to go, because I think the independent suspension does increase the price a lot, but it's a huge feature. It's very important. Like, some people do go off the beaten path, and having that independent suspension is going to be really nice. I hear it tows really good too, and you don't have to have the weight distribution bars. So it's a huge difference in price, but if I just went through both of them with you, and can you really see huge differences? The main thing is the extra solar, the independent suspension, which I think, if I was someone that had like a really crazy off-road capable vehicle, I would go with the Nobo for sure. But my lifestyle and the way I camp and my tow vehicle, I would do okay with this, and I think it'll work for a lot of the people. But if you're someone that's going off-road crazy, you need to go with the Nobo. That thing is awesome. So both are really good trailers. I think for the price, I would go with the E-Pro because the construction is top notch. Added aluminum in certain areas, the double layered Asdel, the frameless windows. But there's a caveat to E-Pros. They only make E-Pros up to 20 feet. So if this is too small for you, that kind of puts you into the no-bow. So if you want that lifted off-road look to your trailer, they make these bigger, but it's a microlight, and it's more of like a traditional trailer. It doesn't have the lift, it doesn't have the off-road tires, it doesn't look as beefy, and they're 8 feet wide. So you would have to go up to a microlight, a Flagstaff microlight, if you wanted to go bigger than an E-Pro. On the no-bow, you can get the beast mode package on all of them. So that is definitely a very nice thing that they do at no-bow. You know, you can get the same features throughout the entire lineup, whereas with Flagstaff it goes E-Pro, Microlight, Superlight, and Classic. E-Pro is the only one that is beefy and has that off-road style of look to it. So I hope that kind of cleared some stuff up for you guys. It was kind of fun to compare two different ones, so I'm going to start doing more of those. It seems like you guys like those. Main thing I wanted to just point out with this video is that I don't really think one is better than the other. I really don't. Well, obviously the no-bow has a better suspension, so the towing and the capabilities are better on the no-bow. But construction-wise, they are both really nice. You just really need to figure out what your needs are. If you're new to the channel, I try to do a new tour every single day, whether it's a 60-second short or one of these long-form tours. Like I told you, if you like either of these trailers, I did a 30-minute tour. I think it's like 25 to 30-minute tour on both of them. They should be on one of these sides, and then I literally open every cabinet, every drawer, and go super in depth on the features. This was more just to compare the two and let you see the differences in options and features in construction. So definitely stick around if you're looking for a channel or a travel trailer. I'm super passionate about helping people find their dream camper, so go through my channel. I have a ton of videos, and we'll do another tour tomorrow. Thanks, guys.